Hello my dear friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Myself I am Lavkush Jogi. I have completed MSc in Agriculture, Seed Science and Technology, Specialization Seed Science and Technology from HNBGUS Central University, Srinagar, Uttarakhand in 2020. I have got 52 rank in PhD program Seed Science and Technology from Indian Council of Agricultural Research ICR All India Entrance Examination for Admission in 2021. Today I am going to tell about the topic seed production of cereals, wheat. Land requirements. Land to be used for seed production of wheat shall be free of volunteer plants. In addition, the field should be well drained, free of weeds, and the soil neither too acidic nor too alkaline. Fairly long intervals between crop of wheat is desirable in rotation to reduce disease contamination of seed from diseases such as kernel bunt. Isolation requirements. Wheat is normally a self-pollinated crop, but natural cross-pollination sometimes occurs. The extent of cross-pollination varies from 1 to 4%. It is usually sufficient to isolate seed field with a stripe of 3 meters all around, which is planted with a non-cereal crop or left uncropped in cages where variety is susceptible to diseases. Cages by Astrelego species, loose smooth, an isolation distance of 180 meters between seed field and other fields of wheat is recommended. The Indian minimum seed certification standard require only 150 meters isolation from other wheat fields wherein loose smooth infection is in excess of 0.1% in the case of foundation seed production and 0.5% in the case of certified seed production. Brief cultural practices. 1. Preparation of land. Bring the soil to a fine tilth by deep plowing with a soil turning plough and by running a harrow before the pre-sowing irrigation. Pre-sowing irrigation is a must for unformed good germination. Give a light slow ploughing or disking after pre-sowing irrigation. Leveling is an important part of seed bed preparation. Keep the seed bed free of weeds. Broadcast BSC 10% dust at 25 kg per hectare just before the last harrowing or plowing. It may be added to the fertilizer and applied. This will prevent white ant and gungia attack. Second, time of sowing. Long duration varieties like C306 should be sown during the first fortnight of November. Second, short and medium duration varieties like Sonalika SD 1982 should be sown during the second fortnight of November. Third, source of seed. Often nucleus or breeder or foundation seed from a source approved by a certification agency. For method of sowing. The seed crop is sown in row with seed drill or behind the plug in furrow. The depth of seedlings should be 5 cm. Seed drill should be thoroughly cleaned and checked before use. Sowing of one variety should be completed before taking up another variety to avoid mixture. If for any reason it has to be used for another variety, it should be thoroughly cleaned and checked so that not even a single seed of various variety it is left. Seed and sowing. If seed of more than one variety is being sown For seed production, the different varieties should be kept separately before putting the seed in the seed drill. Check the individual bag and the bag for that variety. 5. Spacing. The row distance for seed crop should be kept to at 20 to 22.5 cm to facilitate droughing and inspection work. 6. Seed rate. The recommended seed rate for seed crop is the 80 to 100 kg per hectare. The should be treated with systematic fungicide to control loose smut. 7. Fertilization. The recommended doses of fertilizer are 80 to 120 kg nitrogen, 50 to 60 kg phosphorus and 40 kg potash per hectare. In the light of soil test values and native fertility, if zinc deficiency is noticed in the soil, zinc sulfate at 15 to 20 kg per hectare may be given at the seeding time. Apply the whole of the phosphoric and potassic fertilizer and half of nitrogenous fertilizer while sowing or just before sowing. Apply remaining half of nitrogenous fertilizers at first irrigation. Band placement of fertilizer giving better results. The fertilizer should be not well on the seed but should be dropped 5 cm away from the seed. Uniform fertilizer application is important to soil has been tested. The recommendation of the soil testing laboratories should be followed. At irrigation, depending upon the soil, for the 6 irrigation may be sufficient. The first irrigation should be given at the crown root initiation stage about 30 to 35 days after sowing. Other irrigations should be given at the late layering, late jointing, flowering, milk and dough stage. 2 to 3 extra irrigation may be needed on the light soils. 9. Interculture. Timely weeding and interculture are essential. Periodic hoeing and weeding keep the field free of weeds. For control of broad-leaved weeds, spray 2,4-D at the rate of 0.5 kg active ingredient per hectare in 750 liters of water after 25 to 30 days of sowing. For control of Phalaris minor or wild oat, make a pre-emergence application of pendimethalin stomp at the rate 1 kg per hectare 750 liters of water, or spray isoprotein at the rate 1 kg per hectare 750 liters of water after 35 days of sowing. 10. Plant protection. For control of termites, apply 10% BSC dust of 25 kg per hectare in soil at the time of last plowing. For control of termite in standing crops, use chlorpyrifos 20 EC at the rate 2 to 3 liters hectare with irrigation water. For stem borer, apply Inden 6G or carbofuran 3G 3 gram at 25 kg per hectare 2 weeks after germination, or spray the crop with Indosulfan 35 EC at 1.5 liter per hectare after 3rd, 5th and 7th week of germination. For control of loose smut, use seed treated with systematic fungicides such as Vitavax for rust, alternaria and Helminthosporium. Spray the crop with zinc manganese carbamate at 2 kg, Zinab 75 per centimeter percent 2.5 kg, Ziram 80% at 2.0 kg per spray crop with Geranium 27% liquid at the rate 2 to 2.5 liter. The interval of 10 to 15 days as per requirement. Rogging. 2 to 3 roggings may be necessary for bring seed plots seed certification standard. The first rogging may be done just ahead of the flowering stage or during flowering. It is essential that this rogging be done in the time to remove any off-type plants which are obvious at this stage of growth. Failure to do so can allow natural crossing of rogue with normal plants, thus adding the variation in the following year. Obvious rogue at this stage include plants of different color, plants susceptible to various diseases, tail plants in dwarf variety, dense head or other heads, variations, stunted plants and yearly heading plants. The best way to remove loose stunted plant is that soon the crop start to come in the heading stage is gang should be formed to walk through all the rows of seed field. Each one of should be supplied with a gunny bag or paper bag. Furthermore, the should be trained by identify the stunted plants with stunted plants are easily recognized on the basis of black ear soon after spotting the stunted plant. Its ear head should be covered with a paper bag and then the whole plant uprooted without allowing the spores to fall. If the entire stole is not removed, rogging for normal removal of stunted ear heads from the same plant would be done again and again. Later the rogged plants should be either buried or burnt. Along with rogging to lose smooth infected plant for rogging for off types and other insprameable crop plants may also be done. The off type are easily recognizable on the basis of differences in growth habit of plants, leaf characteristics, plant height, etc. This insprameable other crop plants, namely wheat, barley and oats, could be distinguished on other basis of differences given in table below. Difference between wheat, barley and oats: plant character, leaf auricle short, blunt, and barley long, still and glabrous with pointed tips, oats absent. Leaf sheath and blade hairiness, wheat short fine hairs, barley usually globrous and oats mostly globrous, a few long hairs on margin of the lower leaf blades and leaf sheath. Plant characters: leaf blade 12 inch, usually twisted clockwise, wheat, barley 20 inch twisted clockwise, oats 12 inch, usually twisted anti-clockwise. Plant character inflorescence: wheat ear, barley ear, oats panicle that is branches stretches. A second rogging should be done just after flowering completed and before the crop starts of the turn to turn color. If only few rogs are present, this might suffice as the last rogging. Rogging at this include those mentioned in the case of the first rogging: pulse tails varieties which are late of heading and grow up thus escaping rogging in this first instance. Also, as ear characteristics at this stage of appropriate and the of types distinguishable on the basis of ear characteristics need to be removed. The first two regions are very important, and logging or occur at the highly fertile spot, which may make of difficult difficult or impossible to carry out the final rogging. The third rogging should be done after the ear heat or turn color and start to mature. In addition to rogging previously mentioned, one is now able to rogging on the basis of difference in color of heat color and avance to variations and ear head type. We are most easily discernible at this stage. In addition to of types, the objectionable weed plants such as hirankhuri, convolvulus, arvensis, phalaris minus, and weeds such as chatri, matri, lathyrus species, and vicia species, as well other crop plants, namely barley, oats, gram, must be removed of this stage of prior to harvest. Precautions in rogging of seed fields. If large area is to the reduced, or as a rogging team, a 5 to 6 person should be formed with a team leader. This group can move back to forth systematically across the field with the team member of double arm length apart. To team leaders should be follow a few paces behind the main group of double check on the thoroughness of the rogging. Second, gundi bag with the rope tied with two corners can be carried over the shoulder by the rogging team members, so that of types and disease plant can be easily carried to be ends of the row of knot left in the field. The smoothed ear heads should be covered with paper bag before the plants are played out. Third, the entire of types tool must be pulled out or cut off, even if this results in removing a plant that is alongside. Carrying a blade can facilitate cutting of type plants near ground level. For the detailed characters of the variety being rogging must be understood, especially by the rogging team leader. Harvesting and threshing. Soon after maturity, the seed crops should be harvested to avoid scattering and losses due to the uncertain weather, delay of the harvest, and rainy or stormy weather may result in scorching in the ear and thus rejection of the crop of seed. Harvesting may be done the sickle and later the threshing with the stationary thresher or tramping done by bullocks. Care must be exercised to ensure that leverage do not mix the harvested certified seed or the wheat of on the farm. Threshing should be done promptly. Threshing equipment is used for the threshing floor must be thoroughly cleaned to prevent admixture. The crop can also to combine directly in the field. The following instructions should be followed in combining the seed crop. Do. First, combining your seed plot only when seed content in the grains has come down to 16% or below. Second, start combining from the later morning hours when dew dries up. Third, harvest plants growing or bunds and canals by hand before combining the plot. Four, combine should be allocated variety wise and should be wear name of the variety under combining in bold letters. 5. After complete harvesting of the variety, a combine can be assigned to another variety, but it should be ensured that not even single grain of the previous variety is left in the combine. 6. The percentage of the cut of grain should be kept at the bare minimum by adjustment of combining so as to avoid loss of income and deterioration of the seed quality. 7. The combine should be so adjusted that the percentage of the chaff of the bhusa should be minimum to the grain. Do not combine plot having moisture content in the grain more than 6% so as to avoid crushing and spoilage of grains. Second, the combine should not be run of the early morning hours when excessive dew will hinder the proper operation of the combine resulting in damaged seed. 3. Do not change combining the another variety until the combine is cleaned thoroughly in order to avoid varietal mixture. 4. Do not combine without harvesting of later maturity plants growing on buds and channels so as to minimize the percentage of green kernels in the seed lot and avoid the chances of spicules and seed because of the high moisture percentage in the green kernels. Drying, killing and bagging. Wheat seed using very dry harvesting time in the North India at 9 to 10% moisture content. To maintain the good quality in the seed is recommended that the seed be cleaned, treated and bagged immediately after threshing or prior to the start of monsoon. The cleaned seed should be stored in a dry, insect and tolerant proof warehouse. Redent proof greenhouse. Seed yield. Average seed yield varies from 30 to 40 quintal per hectare.